Meeting is in progress.
First off, Sarah, I want to thank you all for joining today. And thank you all for participating in this project. I just want to share my experience. I did this the first time about 12 years ago for a young lady who was in the orphanage in Oxford. Our church was doing Christmas for them, the spirit of Christmas for them. And she wanted a Winnie the Pooh spread, bed spread. And I went everywhere, linens and things, Steinmart, Macy's, Kohl's, everywhere trying to find it. And I wound up in Joann's, and this lady was pulling multiple carts of this Fleece. I mean, she had them all loaded down, and I asked her, what is she doing? And said she makes no-sew throws for the homeless. And I had said, Winnie the Pooh Fleece, never having done that. So I went and I bought 2 yards of it, which would be 72 inches, and it's 58 to 60 inches wide. And that was on a Saturday afternoon. By that night it was done. And I was so proud of me because she got what she wanted for Christmas. The second time we did this was 3 years ago, and our church was going to South Africa. We were making quilts for the daycare center we had adopted. They had 60 kids. And we realized we were not going to get 60 quilts out of my quilts and sisters. So we went to the youth of the church and asked them to join us. And they filled in the gap by making our own clothes. So they came on a Saturday morning. We showed them how to do it. And we had more than 60 quilts when we were ready to go. So we can do this. If the youth and friendship can do it, we can do it. So my goal today is to show you the basics, and it's really simple. But also let you know how much we appreciate your serving others through something like this. And we're gonna have fun. This is not a stress project, this is a stress-free project.
Mr. Lewis, hold on. Before we go on, can you go ahead and unmute your computer again? No, Miss Barbara. Unmute Barbara's. Because now it's still a little, there's an echo again. We tried to alleviate that before, but now unmute Barbara's.
Okay, is that better?
We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. So let us pray. Father God, we just thank you for this day, and we thank you for this opportunity to be of service. Let the work of our hands bring joy. Let the work of our hands bring glory and honor to you. And we pray, Lord, that those who are the recipients and those who made them will know that they have done the work that you have called us to do, to serve our fellow man. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have already started, but the first thing you want to do is take your 2 pieces of fleece and lay them out somewhere flat. I usually do mine either on the floor or on a bed. And the right side, the wrong sides are together. The right sides should all be out. And you can usually tell the right side because the fleece has the same nap on those, and the inside is kind of flat. Smooth. Okay. Once you got them laid out next to each other, then you got to trim them to the same size. So the sides of your fleece have a selvage. And you can see this, you can see my selvage there. It's usually got a color, but most of the time it's got holes in it because it was on a loom. That's how they make the fabric. So you're going to trim both of your pieces of fleece to the same side. Always cutting off the selvage because it's usually pretty rough. So good pair of scissors and just trim all the way down, always on the sides because that's where the selvage will be. And then this one, the bottom is a little bit bigger than the top. I don't know if you can see that. The other side has more depth to it. I trim, and it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, by the way. So I trim both pieces to be the same size. Try to keep it as straight as you can. Thank you. By the way, I want to say special thanks to camera person Barbara Ellis, who is helping me pull this along.
We have a question.
Yes.
Are some fleece pieces the same on both sides? So British, what do you mean?
What's the question again?
Are
There
some
are
Go ahead.
pieces where I can't tell the difference on the sides, like it looks and feels the same.
Well, on mine, the front side is kind of a knotty side, and the back sides are flat, pretty flat. They don't have as much nap on them. Same thing on this one. This is one that I made some time ago. Oh, the camera's over here, sorry. The front side is knotty. It's got more pile to it, and the back side is more flat.
Smooth, really smooth.
Yeah. Now, those of you who got a kit, like if you had one of these, it came with it as a kit, then you know that's the front. And then find the back side that looks like the same nap
Texture.
that you have, a texture that you have on the front. So if you got a kit, then you know that that's the front, okay? And by the way, Sarah, don't stress out. If it's the wrong side, I don't think they will notice, okay?
Sure, Dolores, when you're cutting, did you cut past?
Did I cut what?
You cut past the little extra material part, you cut past.
I did because the holes went in beyond that little white piece. I forget where the camera is. So there were punched holes in there and I cut past those holes.
Okay, cut past the holes then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that's two sides. Let me finish this one. And by the way, if you don't get it perfectly straight, it will be okay. They won't notice, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So now, the camera's not getting this. Now I'll cut the other side with the felt selvage. You can see the blue is bigger than the top. Okay. All righty. Okay. So now that we got all sides even, what you're gonna do is cut out a 5-inch square in each corner. For me, I cut out a 5-inch square to lay down in here. Otherwise, you just use a ruler. Come in 5 inches from this corner, 5 inches from this corner, and cut that out. You get this. So I'm just gonna cut out my 5-inch square in the corner. I'm just gonna do another one just so you see it. And this is what it's gonna look like. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Again, 5-inch square, cut out of the corner. That's the hard part. Now, the only thing you need to do is cut in a 1-inch in 5 inches.
Show them the finger thing you did.
Huh?
The finger thing.
Oh yeah, I showed Barbara the trick the other day. My mother used to say, from your fingertip to your first line is an inch. So if you don't know what an inch is, just lay your finger down, but don't cut it. And cut in 5 inches. So you're gonna cut to the corner right there. You're gonna cut into that corner. And you're gonna do that all the way around. You're gonna also cut on this side.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the inch thing? I was busy trying to cut the 5 inches. Now what do I do after I cut the 5 inches on each corner?
From each corner, then you're gonna cut a 1 inch by 5 inch strip. So you're gonna stop where your corner stops. And
Okay,
you're gonna have these 2 pieces, so keep it flat. Now,
and just cut that all the way around, go all the way around with that.
all the way
Mhm.
around, 1 inch
Okay.
by 5 inch. And it's okay if it's not perfectly straight, it's not
Mhm.
much. So for those of you who got one of the kits, your kit actually has lines on it every 1 inch. So if you got both pieces laying on top of the other, you're gonna have that line to cut on. You probably can't see the white on this one, but basically your kit comes with the white on it, and you know how to cut every inch. So Janice had asked me before, how long does this take? After I trimmed it up, it took me about probably 30 minutes to cut all the way around, maybe 20. Barbara and another lady were kind of helping me keep it flat. I don't know if some of y'all are cutting with me. I'm gonna go to the other side. Not every inch. I'm just guessing an inch. If it's, 7/8 of an inch, it's probably okay. If it's 1 1/4 inches, it's gonna be okay. They're not gonna notice.
Sorry, Janice, how you doing?
So cut, 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 cut. And when you finished all of them, I'm gonna cut a little bit over here.
I'm good, I'm on the floor, so I was away, couldn't get up from the computer, so I couldn't get right back up to you.
No, that's okay. I was just checking because I know like, Sarah Dolores was saying, some people have the kit and they already have the lines. And if you don't have the kit, the lines aren't there, so you're cutting with her as she's cutting.
Yeah, I was going to comment, but I was on the floor, I was gonna comment, how come I didn't get a kit? But that's all right.
Yeah, and particularly
The cameras.
these 4 that I bought from my wholesaler. It's Toy Story, Lion King, The Princess, and who's the 4th? Minnie Mouse. They all have the lines on them. But if you don't have the lines, you have to cut your own, okay? But it's okay.
So Dolores,
Huh?
I think that
Over here.
I think there's nothing I can do about this, but on one side of mine, if the 5 inches actually goes into the design.
Okay, so can you center the top on the back? Can you center the top on the back? You may have to move it over. The top may be skewed. So if you center the top on the back, then you should be okay. I think Sarah Janice said she had to cut 3 inches off one side. So if you cut that, you cut off in the design. So can you center it on the back?
I'll try. Thank you.
Yeah, so sometimes, some pieces are 58 inches wide. Sometimes the fleece is 60 inches wide. And that may be one of those where one piece was 60 inches wide, the other piece is 58 inches wide. So yeah, try that, Sarah British. It should work just to center it. I also gave someone a design that says, I love you to the moon and back. And that one you need to center because it had like a border around it. And you didn't want to cut one side versus the other. So you kind of center it on the back to make sure that you have balance on the top. Okay. However, if that's not working for you though. So now that we've cut and cut and cut and cut and cut your fringe, I usually anchor what my corners. And I take the first piece in the corner, and I just tie a knot right up to the end of the cut and tie a second knot. That's it.
I
Come to the
need
other
that,
side of the
I
corner.
need that again. I need that again, Dolores. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you
so
pull it
got your
up?
cut- You have your cuts in your corner, right?
Uh-huh.
I take the first piece, 2 pieces of the fringe on one side of the corner, and I tie 2 knots. I tie once up to my cut and twice and pull my knot tight. And that's what I have.
To anchor the corner.
And I use that to anchor the corners.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you one mistake I once made, not keeping it flat. When I got to the end, I had a top piece left but no bottom piece. That was not fun, because then I had to come back and find that piece that I missed and take them all loose and retie.
Oh, because you missed one of the pieces.
I missed the
Got
piece.
it. Uh-huh. Right, right.
So that's why I try to anchor it. And while it's flat, maybe you want to anchor as you go down so you don't have to do like I did and have to go halfway back on the side. And that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna tie knots in these 2 pieces. 1 tie, 2 ties. On to the next one. What we talking, 5 seconds? 1 tie, 2 ties. So it's gonna look all bunched up like this. But this is fleece and it's stretchy. So when you finish, all you're gonna do is just pull it gently until it flattens out. So this is one of the kits. So this one's one where I had tied the corners. And I'm just moving my way down. And then the other side, I just go back and tie the rest of these. So they're still loose. On this side, I've tied more of them, and you can see my knots hopefully there. When you finish all 4 sides, just tying the knot with your fringe, then just gently pull it to flatten it out. You're done. I don't know what else to tell you about it, but you're done. So let me give you a couple other things that I messed up on before. One case where I got to the corner cutting and realized that I had not, the bottom wasn't flat and the bottom piece was smaller than the top piece. So I had to cut my little bottom pieces a little bit narrower to figure out. So I had like 3 inches left on the top and about 2 inches left on the bottom. So I wound up cutting my bottom pieces about 3/4 of an inch so that I could finish in the corner like I was supposed to with all the pieces. It's forgiving. Nobody will notice that all the fringes are not exactly the same size. So if you get kind of misaligned and your bottom is smaller than your top, then just make your bottom cut. So I cut them separately. I cut the top and then I cut the bottom a little bit smaller so that I would end at the same place. Okay. So let me stop and see if there are any questions.
You mentioned you wanted us to save the ribbon that they were packaged in.
Sorry, say it again.
You said that you might want us to save the ribbon that they were packaged in, maybe so.
Yeah.
The camera's over here.
I know,
Mhm.
I know the camera. Yes, because Rita, I was gonna keep the ribbon and tie it back up kind of as a nice gift. I don't know. We always, when we give our quilts, we always tie them, but it's nice to have them folded up so that they don't fall apart, you know.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, and all of the kits have some type of ribbon with them.
So they can basically, we can roll them up and then tie the ribbon back around them.
Absolutely. Some of
Yeah.
them are rolled and some of them are like a pancake, yeah.
Gotcha.
Mhm. So somewhere, Wendy, were you here early on? Do I need to kind of back up a little bit?
No, I've been here the whole time.
Okay, all righty.
Thank you.
Dolores, I do have a question. This is Karen. Does it matter what corner you put the 5-inch thing?
You're gonna do all four corners.
All 4 corners, okay.
We're gonna cut out all four corners.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can do the fringe all the way around. And if you don't have a square like I made, just use a ruler, come in 5 that way, 5 that way, and cut out your corner. Come in 5 from here, 5 from here, and cut out your corner. Any questions? So your throw is gonna end up 10 inches smaller width and length because we've cut in 5 on each side, right? And tied your knot. So finish size, it usually tells you on the package what the finish size is gonna be. I think the kit says it's gonna be 43 by 55 or something like that. But you won't have to worry about the edges not being totally matched or the strips not being perfect, because once you tie them, they basically turn into fringe. And I don't think anybody will notice that. You know, I kind of got a little crooked cut here, but it's gonna be okay. Okay. Let's see what other notes I had. So this is something that I did that pink one when I was at the car dealership getting my oil changed. I had already cut out the corners and I cut the strips. And I anchored my corners just by tying 2 on each side in that corner. And so I just sat there in the waiting room and tied knots and tied knots and tied knots. And then some lady was, you know, oh, that's wonderful, and you know, whatever. But you can do it almost anywhere, watching TV, hair salon, wherever. But it's a very simple project. And fleece is fairly warm because it lets the air through, but it protects you from the elements. It's fairly warm. I was reading up on fleece today. If you're buying yardage, in this case, this is yardage. This wasn't a kit. So I have a blue piece that I bought and then this stripe piece. This one wasn't actually 2 yards. It was just the piece that was left and I thought it was pretty. So this will be for a smaller child. But you can decide it's going to be 58 or 60 inches wide. If you want to do one for adults, then you buy 2 yards of the front and the back. So essentially 4 yards of fleece. I watch all the sales. Joanne has it on sale right now for $4.99 a yard. So that would be like $20. The ones that I bought when I was using my Joanne coupons, 20% off or 30% off. So I was watching for the last several weeks. And that's how I got some of them at a much lower price because I was watching the sale.
So Dolores? Oh,
Princess, Toy Story, whatever. I got those from my wholesaler and he had lots of those that were $5. So I got those while I was there. And those are 48 by 60. So someone told me you can buy them at Ollie's, that they have kits at Ollie's. I've not been there, but I will check it out because if other sorors want to make these, there's an opportunity, of course, to go there and get your kits.
I think we had a question. Somebody was trying to ask a question?
What's the question?
Yeah, sorry, it's Janice. I just measured mine, like with the 5 inches gone, it's 3 feet by 4 feet. I thought I had an adult. That seems kind of small for an adult.
Who's that speaking?
It's Janice.
Janet?
Once the 5 inches are cut out, it's one
just
side
see
is 3 feet and the other side is 4 feet.
Yeah, it should have been a bigger piece than that, but
Oh,
I'll
okay.
fix it for you. I mean, I get you.
Okay, no, I mean, I'm fine to make this as long as is it big enough for a child?
Yeah, it's big enough for a child. It
3
is.
by 4? Okay.
Yeah. So I've made several of them. The camera's over here. I have to remember. That's one, and it has a black back. And this probably took me an evening, you know, once I get it cut, then I'm just sitting watching TV or something, then I'll just tie them off. And that's what the fringe looks like. So essentially the back fabric shows up on the front shows up on the back. Okay. Other questions? Does everybody feel
I
comfortable?
want to say thank you because even though I read all of the directions and everything, this was still very helpful. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And I went online today and I thought if this doesn't work for some people, I found pictures and everything. I didn't do photos or anything on instructable.com, instructable.com. Say no sew throw, and it shows pictures of everything that we just did. Everything from trimming up the sides to cutting out the corner to cutting the fringe. Then shows you how to tie the knots and basically shows the same set of things we did today.
This feels super easy and doable. So if this works out well, this is going to be everybody's Christmas gift this year. Don't tell them. Don't tell on me.
You know what, Janice? It is a perfect Christmas gift.
Because all of the
Oh yeah.
there's fleece for there's Christmas fleece out there already. There's fleece for all of the most of the NFL teams, most of the major colleges.
Oh, see?
There's licensed fleece. So if you got a kid who loves whoever, Dora or whatever, I don't know what the new stuff is now. There's fleece like that. I actually did this with my little my cousin's kids, with Alex and Justin. I was babysitting them while their parents went out, and I took 2 no-sew throws over there, and we sat in the floor and we made these. And when she graduated from Carolina this past May, as she was wrapping up talking about how everybody's in her life, she talked about how I showed her how to do this, how we sat in the floor and made these. So it's a great thing for kids. Like I said, the youth of our church filled in the gap when we didn't have enough quilts. They said they came and made them, and the parents were amazed. It's like, really, that's all it takes? But in a matter of hours, these kids had made like 15 of these throws. Now they probably had somebody on every side because I wasn't there, I was still working. But they did like 15 of them in a few hours. Okay. It's something for adults to do. Our mother's primary caregiver, she's going to do it at her nursing facility for her patients who have dementia. And they can do it with their families when they come. She's already said she's going to do this for all of the patients there, and the families will help do it. But it's really easy. And it's very forgiving. What else today, Zara? Does everybody feel comfortable making their throw?
Yeah, this is pretty good. I knew it was simple. I just didn't know how to set it up, but I knew it was simple.
Yeah. So Sarah British, do you feel comfortable kind of centering the front on the back so that you get your 5 inches on each side?
I actually gave up and decided I was going to start with one of the kits and do that first and then come back to the other one. Because once I do it, it might help me see it better.
Okay. Yeah, I had to trim off the back of this one, and I centered the top on the back to make sure it was even.
I just decided, Dolores, mine was the same on both sides, so. Cause I didn't see a difference.
Okay. And it may be different. Maybe the Toy Story one is off and the Princess one is not. I don't know. I didn't open them all.
So Janice, she's talking about, I was saying the 5 inches cut into my design.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was
I
the question you had asked about which side is the front and which is the back. Sorry.
Right. I have multiple challenges.
She's got 6 here. So Sarah British.
Uh-huh.
4 inches be better than 5.
Yes.
Do 4.
Okay.
Up until I got these kits, I had always done 4. Just do 4.
Okay.
And the same thing.
Okay. So then I'll make my corner 4 by 4 as well.
Absolutely. See that?
That'll work.
You got it. Yeah. What else?
The camera.
Barbara kept reminding me that I need to look at the camera. I'm obviously not made for the news or anything like that.
Denise was working with you. Denise was working with you though. She kept moving to get you right.
I don't see a red dot, so I don't know which one to look at. So this is a prelude to your quilting class that's going to come sometime next year.
Yes, yes.
Yay!
But it would not be by Zoom. It would not be by Zoom. All righty. So any other questions? So by 6 o'clock with my able-bodied camera assistant here, Sarah Ellis, thank you very much for allowing me to use your big camera. We'll have this all done. And this will be another one that we can put in the stack for us to deliver. One last thing, and Sarah Rita, I'll talk to you later. We talked about maybe putting a label on the back because a lot of the kits are the same design. So we're gonna try to put a label on the back that says made especially for Barbara by, and you put your name, British or Janice or whoever, whatever name,
Right.
Wendy. We don't have to put our last names, just so we know, so the kids will know which one is theirs, okay? So I'm gonna try to get a label made up by Saturday to put on the back, especially the ones that are exactly alike.
Gotcha.
All right. Any other questions? Scissors, 5-inch square, 1-inch ruler, 1 inch by 5 or a piece of cardboard. Cut out the corners, cut your fringe, tie 2 knots, done.
Dolores, before we go, I have a question for you. Where do you get, I can see a big part of the success here is good scissors. Where do you get your scissors?
Oh. I have a collection of scissors.
I bet you do.
Well, my mother was a home ec teacher. When she passed, I think I have like 12 pair. But you can get them at Joann's. You can also buy them at Walmart, places like that. Ones at Walmart don't last as long.
Okay, so maybe a good fabric store scissors, not the dollar store ones, huh?
No, no, Janice.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It's your grandmama's sewing scissors that's in her sewing box. That's what they.
I have to invest in some good scissors before I start those Christmas gifts.
Yes. And don't purchase any. I mean, I have 12 pairs of scissors. Don't buy any if this is all you want to do.
And if they're dull, you did tell me there was a place you could take them.
Oh, yeah. So Barbara asked me about her scissors that need to be sharpened. There's a place in Stallings. It's AAA. It's right next door on the shopping center with Quilt Patch. If you look up Quilt Patch, it's a quilt store. It's in the
Your
same.
scissors back to life.
That shopping center is $9 to get them sharpened, and I took about 7 pair of them back in the spring to get them all sharpened, but it's $9 to get them sharpened. Yeah. But my mother's scissors were old and sturdy, so I took them in to get them sharpened.
Well, I'm so excited to finish this tonight. I can't wait to send a picture to everybody.
Yeah, I can't wait till Saturday to see everybody's. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dolores. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Awesome job, ladies. Awesome job.
all righty. All righty.
Okay,
Thank you, Dolores.
thank
you.
you.
Mama Dolores.
All righty, take care.
Take care. See y'all later.